Two German men defy the odds and call it Fußball.
Today,
We got 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Klassiker.
5 minutes
talk about
Klassiker segment. All right, let's talk about it. Great game. First off, the game had everything. It was a really great game.
I mean, yeah, it was exciting.
Also, remember what my prediction of the game was in the last week's broadcast, Bjorn?
Bayern would win 3-2.
And that's what happened. Bayern won 3-2 with the help of a ref, Bjorn.
Well, very controversial decisions. I have things to say about this, but first, do you want to hear what Jude Bellingham thought about it?
Let's hear what Jude Bellingham. Well, real quick, first, before we do that, quick game, 3-2. Leva got a brace. Coman got a goal, right? Haaland got the second goal, and Brandt got that great first goal, but Brandt had to leave. Brandt had a big injury. He had to go to the hospital, I think, later in the game. So a 3-2 win for Bayern München. And let's see what Jude Bellingham had to say about.
Well, he's talking.
The game.
So this is in response to whether he thought the decisive goal came from a penalty kick called after a Mats Hummels handball, and this is what Jude Bellingham saw.
Well, for me it wasn't. He's not even looking at the ball and he's fighting to get it, and it hits him. I don't even think he's looking at the ball, but you can look at a lot of the decisions in the game. You give a referee that's match fixed before the biggest game in Germany. What do you expect?
You give a referee that has match fixed before.
Snap.
What is he talking about?
Snap. He's talking about the 2005 match fixing scandal.
That's right.
Which was a crazy time in German soccer in general. Kirch Media went bankrupt around that time, maybe a year before then, I don't remember. German clubs were going bankrupt because of that. Kirch Media was the big media rights holder, the TV rights holder at the time. They went under, and a lot of German clubs just lost a lot of revenue, which in turn led to them focusing on youth, which in turn led to the great Germany team that won the 2014 World Cup. That's sort of the conventional wisdom. However, at that same time, everyone was strapped for cash. In addition to that, there was this whole match-fixing scandal in the minor leagues. It was not in the top flight. It was in the Regionalliga, I believe, right?
No, second Bundesliga.
Or second Bundesliga.
Yeah. And so the name of the guy was what was it? Robert Heuser.
Right, Heuser. That's what it was.
Yes,
right.
And he admitted to taking cash and influencing the outcome of games and betting on them with a bunch of the Croatian gambling syndicate. And
where Demi Krajlach is from, right?
And this was now he's Croatian all of a sudden.
No, well, he was in Germany. That's where Germany Croatianness crosses over.
And he became a very public sort of person. But what was not revealed at the time is that some of his assistants also took some money, and they also it's all like Felix Zweier,
Felix Zweier,
the referee. He accepted a €300 bribe from Heuser, but he also then kind of became a whistleblower and testified against him.
Right.
What is interesting?
He was also
about this,
19 or something, right?
He was a very young man. Yeah, he was, and he then helped uncover it, but. What is interesting and what makes this Bellingham quote controversial is that this was not, at the time, was not revealed by the German FA, by the DFB. They did not reveal this information. Only years later, in a newspaper report, was Zweier's involvement even revealed. So the DFB, had a World Cup coming up the next year, and they really were interested in damage control.
A World Cup won by quite nefarious means, if you remember that too.
Well, that's a whole.
Which was kind of why Franz Beckenbauer is sort of banned from, sort of a lifetime ban from FIFA related to that bit.
Lots of shadiness on the part of the DFB that still really has yet to fully be disclosed, investigated, admitted, etc. And so that's where this Bellingham quote is explosive, and he probably is going to get fined in some way, although really just stating facts on some level.
But it's also it's weird that there's a couple things. It is weird that a referee associated with the match fixing scandal is allowed to be a major league referee. That's a little weird. Yeah. You think that would be a lifetime ban,
he was
not a 6 month suspension.
He was suspended at the time, and because he cooperated with the investigation, he got a relatively like you're saying, he was a young man. But it's weird. I agree.
However, Jude Bellingham wasn't around for any of that. That means that in the locker room, these young 18-year-old, 20-year-old boys, someone's feeding them this stuff.
Yeah.
Probably Marco Rosa or someone on the staff. They're just bitching and complaining and whining about it, and they dug that up, and then they went straight, and Jude Bellingham went out and went straight to the press and offered that bombshell, which is quite inappropriate. I love it, don't get me wrong. Obviously, as a fan, I think it's great story time, but it's kind of, so it leads to the bigger issue. Was it the referee's fault? My answer, no.
No, and you're
the referee didn't make Mats Hummels touch that ball in the box. The referee didn't make Mats Hummels fumble the ball to give it to Lewandowski. That's 2 goals right there. The referee didn't make Borussia Dortmund stop playing for 30 minutes after the 60th minute. All the referee did was give him 10 minutes of stoppage time. 10 minutes.
That's true. No, I agree. And the handball, Mats Hummels had a terrible game. Really.
Which is another issue.
No other way to say it. And that handball, he didn't do it on purpose. And he maybe didn't know much about it, but that is a penalty. The Marco Reus incident or the Alphonso Davies handball? There were 2 moments. I'm talking about the Mats Hummels handball.
Yeah, it's a penalty 100% of the time. There's nothing 50-50 about it. And the new rules specifically.
But the point of contention was that he gave that one, after initially saying not a penalty, he gave that one a lot of scrutiny and reviewed it himself, whereas there was a previous situation with Marco Reus in the box where he immediately waved it off and didn't.
That's soft to me, by the way. I just watched the replay again. I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, it's a 50-50. I've seen penalties called for that, but I've also seen penalties not called for that.
Well, the important thing for that situation is that Haaland was offside to begin with. So even if he calls a penalty, VAR,
Haaland would have been offside.
VAR would have called it back. So no matter if you think that is a penalty or not, it wouldn't have been given because of a previous offside of Haaland. So in the end, you are correct. The referee really didn't make any mistakes.
You know what they were doing, Bjorn, after the game? BVB, our Borussia Dortmund boys.
We're thinking. What are you thinking about?
They're thinking. And you know what Bayern München was doing?
Richtig, genau. I'm the master, Butcher master.
All right, Bayern München with the Butcher master. I see it in England all the time. During close games, big games, the losers always bitch about the ref calls. And it's like, the ref is never going to be 100% a perfect robot, okay? It's going to be a little this, a little that. Your job is to win the soccer game. Borussia Dortmund played really well. In my notes, they were playing the exact RB way. Quick counters, doing great. But that expired after 60 minutes, first of all. And second of all, Mats Hummels was responsible for 2 of the opposing goals, which leads to a bigger issue. If you're Borussia Dortmund and you want to challenge Bayern München, you can't challenge them with their yesterday's trash. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a great team, you can't buy other teams' damaged goods. And then if they fail, like Mats Hummels should be playing for Bochum right now. He should be playing for Mainz. Wow. He should be playing for a smaller club. He's not big club caliber. He's not big club caliber.
You are glad that my mother does not listen to this podcast. She would have an issue.
I will email it to her.
She loves.
Why is she a big Mats Hummels fan?
Oh,
I like Mats Hummels too. He's just old. He's past his prime.
He's yesterday's trash.
Yes, he was yesterday's news, today's trash. I guess makes sense. But what I'm saying, Borussia Dortmund goes dumpster diving for players from Bayern München, and they found Mats Hummels, and they pay for it. All right, if you're gonna fight against Bayern München, you can't do it with a player they knew wasn't good enough for games like that anymore, so they got rid of.
This is harsh.
You know what I'm saying? It is harsh, but this is my Howard Stern take. I'm being a fucking shock jock DJ. Mats Hummels is not built for that kind of caliber. He needs to go.
He had a bad game. That's true. I don't know.
He's just not of that caliber right now.
He needs to be sent out to pasture, according to you.
He needs to go to Bochum. He needs to go. Needs to go somewhere.
First of all, that
why would you take him? Why would you take him?
I'm gonna let that slide the first time. Why? That's like where.
Why don't you want him?
That's where the trash people go. Is Bochum.
No. What I'm saying is, like with Neven Subotic, great Borussia Dortmund left back, but he's at Mainz or Union Berlin now, or maybe even retired. In your later years, when your knees aren't the same, you still play because you're a genius, but you're a little slower, a little off the pace, so you go to smaller clubs that can pay that can make that risk.
He can join Jeff Cameron at Cincinnati. They can be the over-the-hill spy.
Is Jeff Cameron going to Cincinnati? Is he still? Didn't he retire? Is Jeff Cameron still playing?
He played left. We played for them last season.
So it's how I did not focus on Cincinnati a lot this year. I just knew that Cincinnati are America's Greuther Fürth. They won the Greuther Fürth won the Cincinnati Award, and Cincinnati won the Greuther Fürth Award. They should be like partner clubs, those two.
All right.
But anyway, I thought it was a fair game. I thought Bayern München won. I think Borussia Dortmund's still a great team. I would love to. I think their Klassiker in the spring could still be a big game. Maybe payback.
It was disappointing from a neutral's perspective, for sure, because Dortmund looked like they could win this game, and it was really these individual mistakes that mucked it up for them.
It's the Schnitzel boys. It's the Schnitzel boys. It's the Schnitzel boys.